I'm Helen LaKelly Hunt, and I'm so honored to tell you about Women Moving Millions. This is the first time in history that women are uniting and leveraging their financial resources in strategic ways to change the future for women and girls. In cities all over the country and on 6 continents, visionary women have been coming together to harness their money, their intelligence, and their energy to transform the lives of women and girls in their communities. These women are investing in women's funds. These funds are formed by women of all races, giving at all levels, and they share a common belief that women are the fulcrum for social transformation.
If a woman is economically secure, a family is economically secure. If a woman is free from violence, a family is free from violence. You know, if a woman has access to health care, a family has access to health care. So it's an incredibly powerful strategy in a community for making change, because if you start with women, that moves to families, that moves to communities, that moves to countries, and that moves to the world.
It's just hugely satisfying to me to be involved with women's funds. I'm a woman, I love women. I am a mother, a wife, a daughter, a friend, and I need to help other women.
Now, the reason women's funds are so tremendously effective is because they are created in a unique collaboration between grantees and donors. Women with resources partner with grantees with expertise, and together they become solution builders.
One of the things I love about being a donor in a women's fund is what I learn from the grantees. I mean, they open up my world, and there's a real sense of their being the expert and of my being the student. And so even like they have this sense of my power and their need, I have the opposite sense as well.
The sisterhood of these women who are working so hard to make change, you know, it inspires me.
With inspiration and courage, so many women have already answered this call to stretch and give boldly at the $1 million plus level. I'd like you to meet some of these women, and I invite you to join with us also.
One thing that I know in my heart is that privilege is really a kind of a poison. It's like a toxin that slowly eats away at your center.
I didn't really have philanthropy much in my family growing up. I think I came to the philanthropic work really out of a need to connect.
I got sucked in originally really because what I needed at a very personal level was getting filled. But what ended up happening was I also started to look around me and see, oh my gosh, you know, this work is really important, and this person really made a difference, and you know, this tiny little organization just changed a lot.
The greatest reward of the work that I do is the people that I get to say are my friends.
Philanthropy forces you to step outside of your reality, to notice the realities of other people, to empathize with them, and then take this asset that separates you from other people and employ it in the service of making life better for other people. It is the only cure for whatever that toxin is that gets into your soul. If you give, it does feel good. And if you give really a lot and it's really making you uncomfortable and you're wondering maybe if you can't afford this and maybe it's a bad idea, that feels even better.
When you give to a women's fund, you're really being strategic because there's this collective power. It's not just safety in numbers, it's power in numbers. And you pool your money with other women, and then you have much more of a voice.
The power with the amount of money that we have is going to make a difference that I can't make by myself.
My dollars given to the women's funds looks at the root cause of problems, engages people who are the best people to handle it, and handle those changes. And there's no question that my return on investment investing in the women's funds has been far greater than any other gifts that I've made to any other issue.
I want to see the results. So that's one of the reasons that I love the Canadian Women's Foundation. It does operate with the efficiency of a business so that I know I'm getting my money's worth out of my donation. But when it operates with the heart of a woman, I know that it takes my feelings into account as well.
We can all crawl up into that lonely room at the top, and we can hold hands, join hands, hug one another, talk to one another, communicate about our problems of being up there, and what we can do to change the world.
Women are at the forefront of creating lasting positive change in our communities. And now, finally, we are waking up to the fact that we have the financial resources to invest in women. Women did not fund the suffrage movement. It's not because they didn't have access to money. Some did. But those that did funded museums, their husbands' alma maters, houses of worship where they weren't even allowed to speak. Imagine. They missed out on the chance to join their sisters who were marching, picketing, protesting, and making history. Our message to high net worth women is, don't sit out this time. Don't stay on the sidelines. Let's all give boldly, making history as we do.
I've given $1 million gift, perhaps two that my husband didn't know about. And it was because of the way the payout was that I could keep this from him, even though my therapist said I shouldn't. I was a good girl, and I did everything my parents wanted me to do. I married a guy that it looked like would be successful. I don't think my parents ever dreamed he'd be as successful as he was. I had my 2 children. I had a house in the suburb, a station wagon, and a dog. And I would tell you that I didn't choose any of that until I started really giving money away in a significant way. That was the first time I raised my voice. I used to be a very anonymous giver. I didn't want everybody out there to know I had money. And if you're not sure of yourself, which many of us aren't, you're sure that people want to be your friends because you have money. Being a member of the board of the Women's Funding Network has been extremely liberating for me. It's a very diverse group. It's diverse racially, it's international, it has certainly, social class-wise, is diverse. And I find that when I can be everything I am in one place and not be afraid of exposing it, that it's the most integrated I can feel. And there have not been in my life many places I could feel like that. I am different now that I've given $70 million gifts. The satisfaction I have about finally getting to this point where I could do it proudly has absolutely changed the way at least I think about myself. And perhaps the way my husband thinks about me. I'm not sure about that. But absolutely I'm different.
A woman who gives $1 million plus gift during this initiative, right now at this moment, has an opportunity to write and be a part of history.